Hey guys, this is Saints Fan Reactions, and this is my top 10 favorites from season 1 of The Wire. I did it in a separate video because I feel like the review went maybe a little long, and I didn't want to have this at the end and then have people be like, Jesus Christ, it's like a 30-minute video. Number 10 is McNulty. Now, McNulty barely made my list. Not because he's a great actor, he's a great character. He only barely made the list because he is 90% of the time a bad person. He puts his kids in danger, cheats on his wife, drinks constantly, even at work, has passed out in the office while watching convicts or stuff. He goes behind people's backs. Some of the times it's for the greater good, but he is selfish. He is unreliable in a lot of cases. Maybe you can count on him in a really severe circumstance, but for the most part, he's just morally wrong and a crazy lunatic drunken person. He's also great to watch, and every time he's on the screen, I cannot look away because he's a train wreck waiting to happen. But I also can't put him any higher on my list because, one, there's so many better characters, and two, he's just a bad person. I feel bad elevating him. But I gotta get him on the top 10 because without him, there'd be no show. He is the main catalyst that got them to where they are at this point because he kept pushing Daniels and everything else. So you gotta have McNulty on the list. McNulty's number 10. Number 9. Now, I'm basing this on how I feel about the season as a whole. At some points, these people might have been really high on my list. Hence, number 9, Bodhi. Bodhi was my number 1. Sometimes he was always in the top 3, but he was my number 1 in the beginning. I just loved his I don't take shit attitude, and he was fun to watch. He was funny, and it was just comic relief. He just always committing crimes, just walked out of that precinct, literally woke up, just busted out of jail, goes right back to where he got caught. Gets caught again, starts fights with the cops, punches them out, has that whole little thing going back and forth with Herc and Carver when they saw him at the basketball court. They had a little rapport there. I loved everything about it. But then, towards the end, Bodhi started going the other way. He started getting mean, lost his funny edge, and then he killed Wallace. You can't go killing Wallace and be on my top 5. He still makes the list because as a whole, he made my season more enjoyable. So I can't completely demote him from the list. But Bodhi gets demoted from top 3 all season. From the Wallace shooting on, he is dropped. And now he makes barely my list at number 9. Number 8, Wee-Bey. Wee-Bey, I gotta admit, in the beginning, he kind of annoyed me. He was kind of arrogant. He was always starting shit with people and stuff. Wee-Bey grew on me. And they also, to my defense, if you guys are against this pick, they literally made him better. It wasn't I didn't notice in the beginning. In the beginning, he was a hardcore murdering criminal. And then towards the end, he becomes he became Bodhi, basically. To me, him and Bodhi flip-flopped. Bodhi was what Wee-Bey is now, and vice versa. Wee-Bey had to be Bodhi because if you flip-flop with my best and now you are my go-to Bodhi, so to speak, you got to be above Bodhi. So Wee-Bey falls in at number 8. Funny-ass dude. And he, too, will do what he has to do for his people. If you say, Wee-Bey, you go to jail for life and you let Bird get out on a technicality because you admit to the murder, he's ain't no thing, just get me some sandwiches. He will, I could be wrong. Maybe things change, but right now he looks like he will go to his grave with your lies. So Wee-Bey, gotta love him. 8, number 8. Number 7, Wallace. Wallace, I feel bad for the dude. He is one of those people. Wallace is a victim of circumstance. He is trying to raise, I think it was 6 or 7 brothers in the middle of the projects where drugs are all around. He was trying to keep all 6 or 7 of his brothers on the straight and narrow, giving them lunch, making sure they go to school. At the same time, he's dealing drugs, but it's because like he has to get by. Him, I sympathize with because he is a victim of circumstance, and he was such a great character. Michael B. Jordan, phenomenal actor since birth, apparently, because he was young as shit there, and I bought everything that went down. He was phenomenal. I'm going to miss him. Hate that Bodhi and Poot, his best friends, had to put him down like they did. But it is what it is. You know the life when you're in it, and he started narking on them. So, like, I get it. He had to go. Don't mean I got to like it. Wallace, number 7. I salute you, sir. He tried to get out. Then he tried to get back in. He should have just... Dee was right. He should have just stayed out. But I did like Wallace. Good man. Number 6. We got Greg's. Greg's. In the beginning, I was like thinking, oh, we're going to have a stereotypical, like, I'm a rough, tough, like, lesbian, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying TV shows stereotype lesbians. And Greg's, in the beginning, seemed to fit that role, but, like, shortly thereafter broke out. And I have learned to love Greg's. Greg's is an amazing character. She is definitely the kindest heart of that whole group. The whole little, I'll call them the Daniels crew. Out of that whole little Daniels crew, Greg's is the most moral. Greg's has the best track record. Greg's is a sweetheart. Greg's would do no wrong. She has stayed consistent throughout the entire season. I feel like the woman doesn't have a bad bone in her body. So, based on consistency and the fact that she is not afraid to be put in the shit, she went into that undercover operation knowing that it was probably likely to go bad. Even like, she's a smart girl. She knew there is a good chance that things would go bad. And she still went for it. She is got balls of steel. I know she's a woman, but she is rock hard. Love her to death. Greg's is a solid number 6. Only not higher because half the season she wasn't in it. She was comatose for like a fourth of it, and the rest she was kind of up and down, but she's consistent. Solid number 6. Number 5, and you guys might be shocked by this one, but Pryzbylewski. Pryzbylewski has had the quickest and greatest turnaround of any character I could remember in television, at least for me personally. He went from me screaming to the heavens and lashing out at every time I saw him, I would freak, to slowly being like, all right, I'll give him that one. All right, I'll give him that one. To the point where, like, he's like Lester's, like, right-hand man. And he has become a great dude. You could see he regrets what he did. I don't forget what he did, but you can forgive. And he, I feel, learned his lesson. He is even afraid to, like, even carry a gun. Like, they gave him his gun back. They're like, yeah, let's go. Like, you can come back out. And he hates what he did so much that he doesn't even feel right about going out anymore. That's a man that learned his lesson. If he went right back on the street and was like, fuck these assholes, blah, 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 then I'd be like, calm down, Priz. But he shows the signs of a man that learned his lesson. So you got to love him. You got to forgive him. Pryzbylewski, number 5. Number 4. Bubbles, man. Bubbles, I've said this in other videos, must have the most active story arc in this show. Besides maybe McNulty. But Bubbles, at least, I like more. Bubbles has gone on a freaking spectrum. Bubbles goes from, like, I thought he was going to die, to going to those meetings, to straighten his ass out, to, like, going back down to Greg's being like, yo, I'll help you. I'll give you some money. Then Greg's gets shot. He goes back downhill. Then Greg's wakes up, gives McNulty the money. McNulty gives him the money. Now he's already fucked up again. He's back on drugs. Then at the end, we see he's trying to rob more copper with his boy Johnny Weeks. He has got an arc. He's got a kid with a ex-girlfriend who's his baby mama who still cares for him, gives him a chance every time she can. He's got people in his life that cares for him. I feel like that story is going somewhere soon, and I just want to be there when it happens because Bubbles is a lovable guy, and I want him to succeed. So hopefully Bubbles does, but he is my number 4. Number 3, Omar. Omar only goes in at number 3 because he was vacant for so much of the season that I can't put him up there as number 1. If he made more appearances and had more to do with the story as a whole, he would have easily made number 1. The whole farmer in the Dell whistle, the fact that he gives not a shit about anybody, he lets his reputation precede himself, and he just does what he wants and shit gets done. He is definitely going places, and based on the end of this episode, he's going to probably take shit over and run shit. So Omar is not only smart and funny, but he's got the rep to back it up, and I love watching him on camera. So Omar gets a number 3 spot. Number 2 is Daniels, Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick gets already an elevated spot on my list by personal reasons because I love everything he does. Loved him in Lost, love him in all his movies. He is just a solid actor. Anything he does. I almost was going to drop him and demote him when I found out that other cop said he was dirty. And then you see he's rich. You're like, where's he getting this money? He's backing down from Burrell and Forrester and Clay and all the other douchebags that are up on the high ends of the spectrum of law. But he made so good at the end. McNulty kind of lit a fire in his ass. Then Daniels basically started being like, you know what? Fuck this shit. You guys got shit on me. I'm going the distance with this shit. You guys want to stop me? Go ahead. I ain't being no lackey anymore. I ain't being your fucking errand boy and run around and be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. No, you guys, fuck you. You want to take me down? I'm taking this whole department down. If not, then let shit lie. And Daniels is the man. So Daniels, solid number 2. Now, I'm going to give some honorable mentions before number 1. My honorable mentions are they didn't make the list only because they weren't in it a lot, but these are people that stuck out in my mind and I wanted to give little shout outs to. Number 1 is Waylon. Waylon is the guy at the AA meetings, the ex-drug addict that was trying to help his nephew. I don't know why, but whenever he's on camera, he is spot on with his acting, his abilities to portray a ex-addict, and everything about him. Just everything about him is so believable. Every time he's on screen, I'm just like drawn in by his stories and stuff. So Waylon is only not on the list because how are you going to put a guy on your top 10 list when there's 500 characters and the guy's only in like 3 episodes? But Waylon stuck out in my mind. I hope Waylon pops up again. Number 2, honorable mentions. Bird. Bird, yet again, very little episode time. Like maybe 2 or 3 episodes tops. Very few minutes in those episodes. But Bird leaves an impression. Bird was just like such a shit-talking, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude. And if you guys didn't notice this already, I dig those kind of personalities. I dig when people don't take any shit. And Bird doesn't take any shit. And happy to see that Weebay took the rap for the murder they got him on. So I'm willing to bet Bird comes back next season. Bird might jump the list. Hoping he does because Bird, well, there is no list. Bird's not on it yet. But I hope Bird gets on that list and pops up in the next season. And last but not least is Stringer. A lot of you might be like, holy shit, how did Stringer not make your list? But Stringer, I don't know. He never does anything in any of the episodes that has make me think like, boom, like, oh my God, Stringer. He's always got the bet on the side of the criminals. He's always the smartest guy in the room. He's always got the best plan, but he's always on the camera for like 5 seconds, and everything will unravel, and then he'll be like bop 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 bop, and it's over. It's just he doesn't get enough screen time, and he's never done anything that made me be like, holy crap, and stick in my mind. It's Idris Elba. The only fact he probably made my honorable mentions is because it's Idris Elba. If it was any other actor, honestly, he might get forgotten. As smart as he is, and as crucial as he is in the plan of everything, he's just a forgettable character right now. And I know that's going to probably change. But right now, he can't make my top 10. There's just too many other good characters. As far as hated characters, before I give my number one again, every single cop on the higher levels of the law are my hated. Senator Clay, Major Reed, Major Forrester, Rolls ekes in there a little bit, but he redeemed himself a lot. He's not nowhere near my top, but he joins in with the crew. Even Irvin, Burrell, who I don't hate on, but when they're in a group, it's like when you got one guy that's always nice, but when he's with his friends, he gets like an attitude and he gets big balls. It's like when they're all teamed up, they are the worst thing on camera. They all laugh like sinister assholes. I want to kill them all. So they are by far, as a group, my worst liked in the show. Now for number one. And if you guys haven't put it together at this point, then you're not watching my videos. Because number one is my man, the man with the plan, the smartest man in the room, Lester Freamon. He is brilliant. He has had every good idea that crew has had was Lester. He is a good man in general. He got the shaft years earlier, got demoted to like the middle of Shitsville, got a break, got back on Daniel's crew, and he's working his way back, and he is the man. He doesn't hold anything against anybody. He is brilliant. He is a nice man. Now he's dating Shardine. Looks like he's dating her, at least. He deserves her. She seems like a sweet girl. I like her character too. And more power to him. She deserves a good guy, and Lester seems like that guy. So Lester all around, just amazing dude. I can't even recall all the times he helped them. There would be no cases without Lester. He had the ideas for the wires. He had the ideas for the taps. He's the one that put the camera in Orlando's that got Avon and all them busted since day one, like at the very end there. Like, Lester can do no wrong. Lester is the man. I would be willing to bet most of you have Lester at the top of your list or at number one. Let me know what your guys' top 10s are. I'd like to know where mine match up with your guys. Give me some ideas. Comments below. Write some top 10s. Let me know where I stand. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe my list is way off from yours. Maybe it's right on with yours. I'd like to know. Write it down below, guys. But after all that, I am going to wrap this up. So comments down below. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in season 2. Peace.